There's Baker now Bowden to Wise. Yes! Back is. Now Schroeder down forward. Breaks a corner three. Hey, good evening there, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the latest edition of the Raider Sports Report. Here, as always, I'm Brandon Morbilius. Alongside here with me this time is cameraman Jordan Redbeard McCoy. Again, we hope all of you have had a wonderful day here so far as we get into the big-time thick of things this week. Another very busy week here for us, and we're going to break it all down here for you. First and foremost, we're going to start off here with what was last week in Raider sports, another very winningful week of basketball there for the Lady Raider basketball team and Raider boys basketball team, getting a couple wins and moving on to bigger and better things, in which right now, going into the county tournament, which is what this Raider Sports Report is going to be based upon here this evening. We're riding on the highest right now that we've been so far in the season for both the boys and girls basketball teams, playing some of our best basketball, and it's really been a lot of fun to watch and be able to be a part of in a broadcast for all you out there in Raider Nation. So, with right now with the boys, we've won now, I believe, 6 in a row, and we started off 1-2. Really, those 2 losses should have never happened. Losing a Fort Wayne, and then LaPel by 1 point each of those games. So really, those are the only blemishes so far in the season, and we've had it going really ever since. Like I said, we've won 6 in a row. The Wapahoney Lady Raider basketball team, after last night's victory over Randolph Southern, has now ran their overall streak to 4 games won in a row, and so hopefully that will just continue to raise the bar from here on out and continue to build confidence for both teams. I think that, and I say it all the time in our broadcasts, about how you can kind of see these teams really start to come together. Not only the girls team, but the boys team as well, really starting to really buy into the whole process and to the overall aspect of things as a collective unit. And like I said, that's really the biggest reason why they're playing some great basketball right now. But we'll go ahead and then switch gears. We're going to go ahead and lead right into things with our This Week in Sports. Okay, folks, so This Week in Sports, again, this is what it's going to look like. Obviously, with the Raider Sports Report here tonight, again, designating this as our 2021 Boys and Girls Delaware County Basketball Tournament Preview Show here tonight. We're going to break down the brackets for both the boys and girls tournaments, and then we're going to talk about each individual team, break down the team stats, and then players to watch for that can make the biggest impact throughout the course of a ball game, and potentially could be a threat if you're Wapahoney Raiders playing, whether it be boys or girls. And so we're going to do that right here and right now, and we're going to start off here with the boys basketball tournament. Again, for the first time in school history, we're going to be hosting our own Delaware County tournament out here from Raider Gymnasium, and that's going to happen on Friday night, January the 15th. It will be between the West Dell Warriors as they take on your Wapahoney Raiders at 6 p.m., in which West Dell got here because Daleville has to be quarantined. Unfortunately, there for those young men, we wish them the best bill of health and hopefully can get back on the floor there quickly and safely as well. But since Daleville had to be quarantined, West Dell then stepped in and will now advance on to the semifinal round, taking on your Wapahoney Raider boys basketball team again on Friday night, January the 15th. That'll be a 6 o'clock start time right here from Raider Gymnasium. Again, that's the only game. So no JV game, nothing like that. Just one game, and the winner advances on to the Delaware County Championship game. Then on the very next night, which will be Saturday, January the 16th. Now the other game will be featuring the winner of Yorktown and Delta, which will be tomorrow night. Tonight I believe is the opening round of the tournament, but it'll be Yorktown and Delta. The winner of that game will then take on Cowan on Friday night, and that will be at Cowan High School. Again, another start time of 6 o'clock. That will be the other semifinal matchup. Again, the winner of Yorktown and Delta at Cowan on Friday night. And then, as I had already mentioned, the championship game, where it all culminates right there, will be on Saturday, January the 16th. It'll be a 7 o'clock start time at Delta High School. So that's going to be another change, which we're going to get to here later on with the girls basketball tournament. But, things are a lot differently now with, keeping people social distance and not, having big gatherings. And so they're trying to cut down on that, and that's why we're able to host for the very first time a Delaware County tournament basketball game. And so it's going to be a great time, and we'll get to broadcast all this as well, which was nice. We got to broadcast the championship games last year, and so it'll be nice to actually be able to do more like we used to when we first started with this, nearly 10 years ago. And so like I said, we're really excited to get things started there again tomorrow night. We'll start off here with your Wappa Honey Raiders, again, a 7-2 record on the season. They've won their last 6 games coming into the Delaware County tournament. The Raiders averaging 63 points a game, only allowing 44.3. Field goal percentage looking pretty good so far, 209 of 465. That's good for 45% from the field. Behind the three-point line right now, the Raiders are 66 of 188, good for 35%. And then from the All Charity stripe, started out well. We've kind of slacked off a little bit, but still at a very good percentage overall. 78%, we're 83 of 107. Also averaged 34.3 rebounds a game, 14.2 assists, also 5.8 steals, and turned it over at a rate of 9.6. Now again, we're not going to break down each of the individual players. Obviously, if anybody wants to find that out, you guys can look that up for yourself. But we don't want to get out a ton of information upon our teams because we'd like to have our opponents, again, put in the work to be able to do so if they really want to find out good enough. But again, your Raiders, as I mentioned, riding on a 6-game winning streak here going into the county tournament. So it'll be a great matchup coming up Friday night. They're against the West Dell Warriors. Speaking of which, the West Dell Warriors had a great start to the season, and then for whatever reason they've kind of hit a rough patch here, but still a very, very impressive group of young men here that have still played some very good basketball. 5-6 record on the year, averaging 64 points a game to go along with 59.7 points allowed per game for the opponent. Field goal percentage right around 47%. There's 263 of 555. Also from beyond the arc, slacked off there a little bit. They're 50 of 173, good for 29%. Next up here we have the free throw line, and again that's where the Warriors have kind of struggled here. 127 of 213, 60% from the charity stripe. Again, they average 27.3 rebounds a game, 13.1 assists, 11.2 steals, and turn it over again at a rate of 11.6. Again, just some players to really watch for that could potentially have the biggest impact, not only on Friday night's game, but if they advance on, what could be a big factor in the championship game as well. And one of those is Evan Weitzel, a young man that's averaging a little over 15 points a game, also 2.5 rebounds, 2.3 assists, 50% field goal percentage. Is also 9 of 34, 26% from behind the three-point line. And he's a 67% free throw shooter at 31 of 46. Next up here we have Joel Dowling, another young man that's really got it going throughout the season here. 12.4 points a game to go along with 3.4 rebounds, also 4 assists per game and 2.2 steals. 46% field goal percentage overall. Again, the best three-point shooter here for the Warriors by far. Right now, 20 of 58, 34% from behind the three-point line, and 50% from the free throw line at 16 for 32. So, again, that's Joel Dowling. Next up, Zach Todd, a big-time post player there for the Warriors, coming in to the tournament, averaging 11 points a game, a little over 7 rebounds a game. They're at 7.8, nearly 8 rebounds a game. there for Zach Todd. 43% field goal percentage. Really doesn't shoot much from behind the three-point line, only 5 of 20, which is good for 25%. And then also a 69% free throw shooter. So, again, he's going to get a bulk of his points and live mostly on the inside, getting rebounds, putting it back up for points on the offensive end, and then being a thorn in the side there on the defensive end as well. Next here, got 2 more guys. Eric Harlan coming in, 10.6 points a game with an overall average here, 4.5 rebounds a game, also 4.5 assists. 54% field goal percentage. He's 42 of 78. And he's a 69% free throw shooter. He doesn't take any threes. It's kind of a rare occasion if he does. So, again, that is Eric Harlan there for the Warriors. Next up here we have Jesus Cardoza, averaging 4.6 points a game and 2.9 rebounds. 33% field goal percentage, 16 of 49. Also another young man that doesn't take a ton of threes, but he can knock him down when he does take him, because I think he proved that against us. We played him the last time around there. 5 of 21, 24% from behind the arc, and 56% free throw shooter is Cardoza. So again, that's the West Dell Warriors. Again, 5-6 coming in to Friday night's matchup there against your 7-2 Wapahani Raiders. And then the next matchup here, again, it'll be the Delta Eagles taking on the Yorktown Tigers. Again, that'll be the matchup playing tonight. Again, in the opening round of the tournament, with Wapahani getting the bye, and then West Dell obviously getting the victory since Delaware had to be quarantined. But the Eagles right now standing in at 5-2 on the season coming into the tournament, 49.1 points scored per game, allowing 48.1, so not a big difference in scoring. And you'll see the reason why they've been so successful here in just a minute. 45% from the field, 126 of 282. Also from behind the three-point line, very respectable here as well, 49 of 141, good for 35%. And then at the charity stripe, 61%, 41 of 67. And so, they haven't played a ton of games, just a couple games right behind Wapahani. But still a very successful start here to their season, and always a thorn in the side of whoever they play. Again, the Eagles, 19.4 rebounds a game, 11.7 assists, also 5.6 steals, and they turn it over at a rate of 12 times per game. And again, the biggest reason that the Eagles are where they are right now, number one, Brady Hunt. The young man averaging nearly 23 points a game, also 7.1 rebounds, 2.4 assists. He's shooting 49% from the field, 59 of 120, and then nearly a quarter of his shots made are from downtown. He's 19 of 46. That is good for 41% from beyond the arc, and then a 68% free throw shooter, 23 of 34. So again, that is Brady Hunt. Definitely by far the biggest threat there for the Eagles. Next up here is Neil Marshall, another young man that's having a great season here for himself, coming in 13.3 points per game on average, with 2.9 rebounds, also 1.3 assists, 46% field goal percentage overall. And then the second best three-point shooter on the team, coming in at 40%, 17 of 43. There's Neil Marshall. You got to love this mask getting in my mouth when I'm trying to talk. But again, a 63% free throw shooter, 12 of 19. And so those two guys specifically are the two main focuses I would really hone in on if I was, Yorktown or whoever might be their opponent. But then a couple other little main guys here that you got to kind of keep an eye on every now and again here. Clay Bragg coming in just over 3.5 points per game, 1 rebound, also 29% field goal percentage. He's 8 of 28. A good bulk of his shots, though, made is from behind the three-point line as well. 6 of 23 for 26%. So 6 of his 8 shots made from the field has been behind the three-point line. So something to really, I guess, take a look at there as well. And then Riley Wooden, another young man here coming in with an average of 2.5 points a game, 2.8 rebounds, is 88% field goal percentage, 7 of 8 from the field, and he's 1 of 3, 33% from the free throw line. So again, that is the Delta Eagles, 5-2 on the year. They will be taking on the Yorktown Tigers, which is where Redbeard comes into play. Again, he'll give you the lowdown on the Tigers and the Calhoun Blackhawks as well.
Yeah, thanks, Marv. We'll start with the Yorktown Tigers. They have a record of 6-4 on the season. Team stats: they score 51.8 points a game while allowing 46 a game. Field goal percentage are 198 for 458, which is good for 42%. 3-point percent, they're 54 for 165, good for 33%. Free throw, they're 74 of 112, good for 66%. They get 27.3 rebounds per game, 10.8 assists per game. They steal it 5.2 times a game, and they turn it over 11.5 times a game. Now, some players to watch for. First, we have A.J. Dunn. He scores 14.4 points per game, gets 4.9 rebounds per game, and has 3.2 assists per game. Field goal percentage, he's 52 for 125, good for 42%. He's 17 of 51 from three-point land, which is 33%. And he's 23 of 35 from free throw line, which is 66%. Next, we have Kieran Tuary. He scores 12.6 points per game, 3.1 rebounds per game, and 3.1 rebounds per game. Field goal percentage, he's 46%, which is 46 for 101. And three-point land, he's 23 of 54, which is good for 43%. From the free throw line, he's 79%, which is 11 of 14. Next, we have Jamarius Evans. He scores 8.7 points per game and gets 7.2 rebounds per game. He's 31 of 62 for field goals, which is 50%. And he's 25 of 39 from free throw line, 64%. Next, we have Carter Lovelace. He scores 5.7 points per game and gets 4 rebounds per game. Field goal percentage is 55%, which is 24 of 44. And he's 7 of 10 for the free throw line, which is 70%. Lastly, we have Walker Moore, which he's only played in the first 5 games, so these stats are only reflective for his first 5. He's got 4.2 points per game, 5.2 rebounds per game, and 3.2 assists per game. He's 7 of 27, which is good for 26% field goal percentage. He's 4 of 13, which is 31% from behind the line, 3-point land. And he's 3 for 3, 100% from the free throw line. Then we have the Calhoun Blackhawks. They come in at a record of 3-3. They score 53.3 points per game while allowing 54.7 points per game. Now, unfortunately, there wasn't any other stats available, so that's all we got for them.
Yeah, well, and that Yorktown team, they've been playing some really good basketball throughout the year. I mean, you're looking at 6-4. A.J. Dunn is a thorn in the side of whoever they play. And Tuary as well, he's had a really strong season. Evans, like you had said. Now, again, we're really not sure about Walker Moore there of the Tigers. I know when we was getting these stats, which we get them from maxpreps.com and johnharrell.com, or .net, I believe. But Walker Moore played the first 5 games, and really haven't seen him since then, since I think right around the middle of December. So it's been a minute. So I don't know if he'll be much of a factor or not. I don't know if he'll be playing or whatever. But nonetheless, 2 very impressive teams there, Calhoun as well as Yorktown and all these other teams, West Dell and Delta. It's going to be an interesting tournament, no question about it. I know it's going to be a little bit different, but it's going to be nice to be able to broadcast it live right here from Raider Gymnasium, and I'll be able to have for the first time in school history, a county tournament right here from Wapahani High School. So it's going to be a really neat thing. Again, the county championship game will be played on Saturday, January the 16th at Delta High School. It will be a 7 p.m. start time. That will be the only game that will be played there, because the girls' tournament will be held at a different location this year, which I'm going to let Redbeard talk about that, as we'll kind of switch gears now into the 2021 Delaware County Girls Basketball Tournament. Again, Redbeard's going to break down the brackets here, talk about the teams and some individual players. So, again, Redbeard.
Thanks, Marv. Yeah, as you mentioned with the boys, the girls will also host the county game.
Exactly.
On Thursday the 14th, we will host Yorktown in the semifinals at 6 p.m. The other semifinal game will be Calhoun at Delta at 6 p.m. And the championship game will be at Yorktown High School at 4 p.m. Saturday, January 16th. For team-wise, we'll start with your Wapahani Lady Raiders. They come with a record of 9-5. On Yorktown, that game we actually hang with Yorktown pretty good.
Yeah, we did. I mean, and that's one of the biggest things, because we've had some games right there where, against tougher opponents where we could have won, and that was one of those first ones right there, and just came up a little bit short.
Yorktown ended up winning that 49-33 on December 8th. Team stats, we score 53.5 points per game while giving up 40.6. Now, unfortunately, stats weren't updated, so that's all I can give you with that.
Right.
So the Yorktown Lady Tigers, they come in with a record of 9-4. They score 55.6 points per game while giving up 41.6 points per game. They're 267 of 767 field goal percentage, which is 36%. 3-point land, they're 31%, which is 78 of 250. And the free throw line, they're 91 of 157, which is 58%. They get 30.5 rebounds per game. They assist 11.5 times per game. They steal it 12 times a game and turn over almost 14 times at 13.8 times per game. Some players to watch for. First, we have Culverson. She scores 17.6 points per game. She has 3.9 rebounds per game, assists at 3.1 times per game, and she gets 4.1 steals per game. She's 81 of 203, which is good for 41% from field goal range. She's 16 of 57, which is 28% from three-point land. And she's 33 of 47, which is 70% from the free throw line. Next, we have Elizabeth Reece. She scores 13.8 points per game. She has 3.4 rebounds per game. She gets 2.1 assists per game and has 2.2 steals per game. She's 59 of 139, which is good for 42% field goal percentage. She's 44 of 99, which is good for 44% from three-point land. And she's 18 of 24, 75% from the free throw line. Next, we have Jalen Dunsmore. She scores 4.2 points per game. She gets 4.7 rebounds per game. She's 22 of 64 field goal percentage, which is 34%. She's 6 of 12 from the line, which is 50%. Next, we have Omari Wright. She scores 5.9 points per game, 2.5 rebounds per game, and averages 2.4 assists per game. She's 23 of 71, which is good for 32% field goal percentage. She's 7 of 24 from the three-point land, which is 29%. And from the free throw line, she's 6 of 15, which is good for 40%. Then we have Kieran Tuary, 3.8 points per game, 2 rebounds per game, and 1.7 assists per game. She's 18 of 71, 25% field goal percentage. She's 9 of 45, 20% from three-point land. And she's 5 of 7, which is 71% from the free throw line. Next, we have the Cowan Lady Blackhawks. They come in at 8-7 on the season. They actually beat Delta 60-31 on December 30th. Team stats, they score 48.6 points per game, and they allow 42.4 points per game. Now, there's no stats for them either, unfortunately.
Yep.
Then the Delta Lady Eagles, they come in with a record of 3-11 on the season. They score 39.8 points per game while giving out 50.4, so a pretty wide margin there. And unfortunately, there's no stats available for them either.
Oh, for heaven's sakes. Yeah, it's tough. You get some of these teams, they don't like to necessarily put the information out there. They like to make it a little bit harder on teams. It could be just time as well. You might not have time to put that information on there. But, it was unfortunate we couldn't find anything on those guys. And I know Wapahani stats weren't updated. But you all know how Wapahani is as far as how they play. Again, we're riding on a 4-game winning streak right now, heading into the county tournament. Should be a great matchup there tomorrow night. Again, January the 14th. It'll be a 6 p.m. start time, as Redbeard said. Yorktown, Wapahani matching up for the second time this season. And again, then it'll be Cowan at Delta. Another big matchup there. Again, the Blackhawks, as Redbeard had alluded to, already beat the Eagles earlier on this season rather handily, 60-31, in which, coming into the tournament here, when you look at the bracket the way it was originally made up, you had it was Cowan and Daleville, in which Cowan won that one, I believe, by a little over 30 points or so, thereabouts. And then Yorktown beat West Dell last night, I believe, by 48. It was 58-10 was the final score there in that one. So, unfortunately there for the Warriors, things got a little ugly. But, as the bracket stands right now, Yorktown and Wapahani, that's definitely going to be your heavy-hitting matchup. But those Cowan Blackhawks, again, really been playing great basketball throughout the season here, 8-7. And you never know about the Eagles. They can surprise you just as easy as anybody can. So that's going to be a great matchup, again, with Yorktown and Wapahani tomorrow night right here from Raider Gymnasium. Again, we'll have it all live right here on the WHS Network here on YouTube.com. Again, beginning with our Raiders Live pregame probably right around 5:55 or so. It'll be a 6 p.m. start time with, with starting lineups, national anthem, and all that lovely stuff. But again, all the state tournament, goodness sakes, what is wrong with me? All the county tournament action, as far as Wapahani goes, whether it be boys or girls, we'll be covering it all live here on the WHS Network. Again, just to break it all down one more time for all you fine folks out there, the Wapahani Raider boys basketball team will be in action on Friday, January the 15th. They'll be taking on West Dell. Again, first county games ever held here at Wapahani High School. So please come on out if they have tickets available. I think they're only allowing 75 a ticket or 75 people.
Voucher.
Right.
Yeah.
And so it's going to be a little bit tougher to get in, things like that. But you don't have to worry about coming here if you can't get the opportunity. You can always watch us on the broadcast as well. That's just as good, I'll tell you that. But nonetheless, then again, the winner of Yorktown and Delta will be playing at Cowan. Then on Friday night, 6 p.m. And then with the championship game being held January the 16th, that's this coming Saturday at Delta High School, 7 p.m. start time there for that boys county championship game. Then on the flip side of things, for the girls, again, tournament, Wapahani Yorktown will face off tomorrow night, January the 14th, right here from Raider Gymnasium, live here on the WHS Network on YouTube.com. 6 p.m. start time. Please join us there for that one. Again, then the other game will be Cowan at Delta at 6 p.m. Again, both of these semifinal matchups leading up to the 2021 Delaware County Girls Basketball Championship game held at Yorktown High School, a 4 p.m. start time there on January the 16th, this coming Saturday. So again, we wanted to make sure to get this information all out there to you. Again, this has been a nice little Raider Sports Report here. It's been a little while since we've got to have a Redbeard here on the Raider Sports Report. I don't even know if you've even ever been on here.
First time.
But it's nice to be able to break the tournament down and do it, from an individualized basis, not only from a team aspect, but then players that could make the biggest impact. So we hope all of you enjoyed it. Hopefully all of you learned something from this and what to look forward to coming up throughout the week. Again, we want to thank Delaware County Athletic Association for us to be able to broadcast your Wapahani Lady Raider and Wapahani Raider basketball games. Greatly appreciated there for that, and hopefully all of you are able to enjoy the broadcast. And again, we want to thank everyone for continuing to watch us and supporting our teams. Means a great deal to us. And I know it means a great deal to the athletes and the coaches as well. That's a very big deal, and we're very appreciative of everyone. Also, make sure to follow us on our social media sites, Twitter and Facebook at WHS Network. So follow us on Twitter, like us on Facebook, and then subscribe to our YouTube channel as well, youtube.com/WHS Network. Subscribe on there. Everything's free. It doesn't cost you a dime. And you can also click the little bell icon on there if you choose to do so. It just sends you alerts and notifications upon every broadcast. So again, folks, thanks for spending some time with us here this evening, again with our special edition of the Raider Sports Report here on the WHS Network. Again, we look forward to having you all right back here on the WHS Network coming up tomorrow night as your Wapahani Lady Raiders take on the Yorktown Lady Tigers in the semifinal round of the 2021 Delaware County Girls Basketball Tournament. So until then, folks, I'm Brandon Morvillius, alongside cameraman Jordan Redbeard McCoy. Again, wishing you all a very happy evening, and we'll see you back here tomorrow live on the WHS Network.